Hvaljen Jezus. Osrednja misel današnjega bogoslužja je pričakovanje Gospoda. Judje so pričakovali njegov prvi prihod. Kristjani pričakujemo njegov prihod v naša srca in njegov prihod na koncu našega življenja. Vsi skupaj pa pričakujemo njegov prihod na koncu časov, ko bo prišel soditi žive in mrtve. Jezus sam nas vabi, naj bomo vedno pripravljeni na njegov prihod.
Očeta in Sina in Svetega Duha. Gospod z vami. Brati in sestre, priznamo svoje grehe in jih žalimo, da bomo vredni obhajali svete skrivnosti. Smegošnjemu Bogu in vam, bratje in sestre, priznam, da sem grešil v mislih, besedah in dejanju. Mnogo dobrega odpustil in slabega storil. Žal mi je, zelo mi je žal. Zato prosim Sveto Devico Marijo, vse angele in svetnike in tudi vas, prosite zame Boga, nebeškega Očeta. Smili se nas, smogošnji Bog, odpusti nam naše grehe in nas privedi v večno življenje. Molimo. Vsemogočni Bog, utrdi nam voljo, da bomo prihajajočemu Kristusu šli naproti z dobrimi deli. Tako bomo prišli na njegovo desnico in večno živeli v njegovem kraljestvu. Ker s teboj v času Svetega Duha živi in kraljuje vekomaj.
Prvo berilo. Berilo iz knjige preroka Jeremija. Glej, pridejo dnevi, govori Gospod, ko izpolnim obljubo, ki sem jo dal Izraelovi in Judovi hiši. Tiste dni in tisti čas storim, da požene Davidu mladika pravičnosti. Delal bo prav in pravično v deželi. Tiste dni bo Juda rešen in Jeruzalem bo prebival na varnem. Takole pa ga bodo imenovali: Gospod, naša pravičnost. Božja beseda.
Bogu hvala. Tebi, Gospod, dvigam svojo dušo. Tebi, Gospod, dvigam svojo dušo. Svoje poti, Gospod, mi daj spoznati, svojih steza me nauči. Vodi me v svoji resnici in me uči, saj si ti Bog moje rešitve, ves dan zaupam vate. K tebi, Gospod, dvigam svojo dušo. Gospod je iskren in dober, zato poučuje grešnike o pravi poti. Ponižne vodi v pravici, ponižne uči svojih potov. K tebi, Gospod, dvigam svojo dušo. Se, Gospod, ves steze so dobrota in zvestoba za tiste, ki ohranjajo njegovo zavezo in njegove pričevanja. Gospod je zaupen s tistimi, ki se ga bojijo, razodeva jim svojo zavezo. K tebi, Gospod, dvigam svojo dušo.
Drugo berilo. Berilo iz prvega pisma apostola Pavla Tesaloničanom. Bratje in sestre, vas pa naj Gospod obogati in napolni z ljubeznijo drug do drugega in do vseh, prav kakor jo čutimo mi do vas. Da bi tako utrdil vaša srca, ki naj bodo neoporečna v svetosti pred Bogom in našim očetom, ko pride naš Gospod Jezus z vsemi svojimi svetimi. Amen. Sicer pa vas, bratje in sestre, prosimo in opominjamo v Gospodu Jezusu, da še bolj napredujete v tem, kar ste prejeli od nas. Namreč to, kako vam je treba živeti, da boste ugajali Bogu. Sicer pa tako že živite. Saj veste, kakšna navodila smo vam dali po Gospodu Jezusu. Božja beseda.
Gospod z vami. Iz Svetega Evangelija po Luku. Tisti čas je rekel Jezus svojim učencem: znamenja bodo na soncu in luni in zvezdah, in na zemlji bo med narodi stiske in zmeda zaradi bučenja, morja in valov. Ljudje bodo koprneli od strahu in pričakovanja tega, kar pride na ves svet, zakaj nebeške sile in bodo majale. Takrat bodo videli Sina človekovega priti na oblaku z veliko močjo in slavo. Ko se bo pa to začelo goditi, in ozrite k višku in dvignite glave. Vaše odrešenje se približuje. Varujte se pa, da vam srca ne bodo obtežene in pozrežnostjo, pijajnostjo in s skrbami tega življenja, in da tisti dan ne pride nad vas nenadoma kakor znanka. Kaj ti prišel bo čez vse, ki prebivajo po vseh zemlji. Čujte torej vsak čas in prosite, da bi mogli obežati vsemu temu, kar se bo godilo, stopiti pred Sina človekovega. Kristusov evangelij. First of all, on Tuesday, the 30th, we are one of the host parishes for the 9 days of night prayer. 9 days, it's a novena leading up to the Feast of the Immaculate Conception. So everyone is invited, whether Catholic or non-Catholic, Christian or non-Christian. It's part of an evangelization, actually, in many ways geared towards younger people who are going to be out at 8 o'clock at night. But for anyone, just to take some time, a little bit of time to pray. We're chosen because, in many ways, we're a location and it's a beautiful place. What better way to evangelize people and to bring them back in church, but to present them with someplace beautiful, someplace that speaks of God. So, frankly, that's one of the reasons why, and the person who directs it is a classmate of mine, and we get along. So that begins 9 nights of night prayer. Night prayer is relatively short. It's the last prayer you do in the breviar. If you remember the breviar that the priests, religious pray, it's the last one. It's the shortest, but still begins at 8:15. We're finished certainly by 9 o'clock. Certainly by 9 o'clock. People are invited to stay until about 9 o'clock or so to pray and just to be in church. Okay, people need to be back in church. We've needed this for a long time. People need to be back in church, and this is one way to do so. In this gospel, the message of, obviously it's about the end times, about the end of the world, about the Son of Man coming, Syn Človekov on the clouds. If he'll come on the clouds, we don't know. That doesn't really matter. It's symbolic language. But the second coming of Christ. So Advent, we are remembering the second coming of Christ. Once it gets to about December 17th, well, then we concentrate more on Christmas. But we're preparing for his coming again. And he will come again. We just don't know how. And he says it right here. You know, there's whole industries about the end of the world. Many of the evangelicals. I've watched one program kind of on and off for 20 years. of a televangelist. And he's always talking about the end of the world. And then he has his lady, always got to be a lady with lots of hair, all smiles and excited about the end of the world. And he just kind of adjusts some things along the way. Things kind of get left off in the next prediction. However, Jesus will come. And we know it. This is a warning for us. I think it was Thursday's newspaper, there was a section, entertainment section for people to go out, have fun for this season. Ways to have fun, F-U-N, Zabavati in this season. Well, every season is a season for fun. You have summer, you have springtime, you have fall. There's always opportunities to go out and have fun. And certainly in our culture, fun, entertainment is probably our biggest industry. We produce things, but everything seems to be about entertainment. So much concentration on entertainment. You know, and I know, we all grew up with it in the same way, that yes, entertainment is fine, but you work first so that you can be entertained, so that you can have fun later. You got to do the work first. School, work, we got to do the work first. Then we can enjoy the fruits of it. That's part of an old wisdom. Our world doesn't like it. It doesn't sell well out there. It's more sellable to just have fun and then work in school later on, do that later on, fit that in between the fun. But we know we have to do that work first. It's something that Jesus is reminding us of. People carousing, drunkenness, overeating, everything else. Sometimes we forget, and the world forgets. Sometimes the world just doesn't care. For us to be prepared, still a constant message for us to prepare. Now, in the first reading, opening reading, there's a kind of a message for us. These opening prayers, Glavna Prošnja, often has a message. Unfortunately, you don't see it, and sometimes it's hard to catch. These are translated from Latin, and certainly, I know in English, they can be kind of vague. Vague doesn't work well in English, but they can be awfully vague. But still, there's great messages, and there's a reason for the certain message in this. The bomo prihajočemo Kristusu šli naproti so dobrimi deli, that we go out and meet Christ with good works. The emphasis here is for us to go out and meet Christ. Don't sit back and wait for Jesus to come to you. He's going to come. And he comes to us. He comes to us in the Mass, in the sacraments, in the Eucharist. He's going to come, whether you're here or not, for you to go out and meet him. The emphasis is on you doing the work, you doing it, you getting out there. Prayer, that whole 9 days of night prayer, to kind of get it back into church. You got to do it. You got to get back into church. You go out and meet. There's also a hint there of someone else in the Scriptures. In the Gospel of Luke, who does this. It's Mary at the Annunciation. The angel, Gabriel, coming, announcing to her the birth of Christ. What does she do? Well, she doesn't sit back and put it in her diary. In the Scriptures, she gets ready and she goes off. She goes in haste, as it says in the English version, goes out in haste to meet with Elizabeth. She's going out. She's going out with Christ. Elizabeth greets her, John the Baptist. So the emphasis is here on what is Mary doing? Mary is doing this for us to imitate her. So often, as Christians, so many Christians kind of gotten lazy where we're just waiting for Jesus to come and give us a good feeling, waiting for Jesus to come and do something, waiting for Jesus to come and set the world straight. That's part of our job. That's part of our job. He's going to be there to help us, but we have to go to him. We have to make, it's a two-way street. We have to go to him as well. And prayer, preparation, so that when he does come, we will be prepared. You know, one other message here, real quick, is that what is the world to be like when Christ comes? It might not be all hunky-dory, like sometimes many Christians will think. And sometimes as Catholics we do the same thing. But it's never been what we've taught, because that's not what's in the scriptures. There will be persecutions, as there are persecutions now. There have been for 2,000 years. It might not be all happy. We might have to suffer. In fact, we will have to suffer. Jesus says so in another passage in one of the other Gospels. We will have to suffer. These are all things preparing us for the coming of Christ, purifying us. We've certainly been suffering here for 20 years in the church, or even longer. You know, scandals, other things, constant suffering. That was a message I heard in Rome 2 weeks ago. When I was, I think it was about 2 weeks ago, thinking about these things and going to the tomb of John Paul II, praying there. You know, that was a message I heard. It's not a new message. I've heard it before, but it was a reminder. You know what? There's going to be suffering. It's not going to be all happy, happy, happy. Happiness and fun are going to come. There's lots of opportunities for us to have fun, to enjoy ourselves. So I don't want to be doom and gloom. Christmas is going to come, and it's going to be great. However, there's also going to be suffering as well, and unhappiness and unsatisfaction. You know what? That's the time to reach out to Christ, to go to him, go in haste to him, to prepare ourselves for his coming. Stoją. Verujemy w Boga Ojca, w Boga, Ojca Всемогущего, Станика небес и земли,
Всевидних и невидних створий, Enego Господа, Ісуса Христуса, Единороєнного Сина Божого, ки зачата роєм пред всеми веки, и не Бог от Бога, луч от лучи, прави Бог от правого Бога, роjen neostvaren, enega bistva s očetom in je po njem vse ustvarjeno, ki je zaradi nas ljudi in zaradi našega zveličanja prišel iz nebes in se je utelesil po svetem duhu iz Marije Device in postal človek. Bil je tudi križen za nas, pod Poncijem Pilatom je trpel in bil grob položen. In tretji dan je od mrtvih vstal po pričevanju pisma in je šel v nebesa, sedi na desnici očetovi in bo svet prišel v slavi soditi žive in mrtve in njegovemu kraljestvu ne bo konca. In od svetega duha, Gospoda, ki oživlja, ki izhaja z očeta in sina, ki ga z očetom in sinom molimo in slavimo, ki je govoril po prorokih, in eno sveto, katoliško in apostolsko cerkev, priznavam en krst v oproščanju grehov in pričakujem stajenje mrtvih in življenje v prihodnjem veku.
Boga bomo prosili, da blagoslovi naše adventne vence. Ves adventni čas bodo med nami, da nas bodo v cerkvi ali doma opozarjali in vabili k bogoblenjeni privavi na božične praznike. Govorili nam bodo, da je Bog z nami, da prihaja med nas kot luč, ki preganja temo, greha in prinaša upanje odrešenja. Ne prvo samo okras naše crkve ali doma, ampak predvsem znamenje Božje ljubezni do nas. Molimo, nebeški Oče, tudi to leto nam naklanja se adventno veselje. V zaupanju pričakujemo Jezusa Kristusa, našega odrešenika. Prosimo te, blagoslovi ta adventni venec in sveče, kakor bomo vsako nedeljo prižgali novo svečo, tako nam daj rasti v ljubezni do Kristusa. Pripravi nas na praznik njegovega rojstva in nam daj nekoč gledati slavo njega, ki je pot resnice in življenja. In s teboj živi in kraljuje vekomaj.
Amen.
Zbrani krog Gospodovega oltarja na to prvo adventno nedeljo naslovimo svoje prošnje na nebeškega Očeta.
Za Cerkev, da bi se vseh svojih pastirjih in vernikih dobro pripravila za Gospodov prihod. Prosimo Gospoda. Za vse kristjane, da bi po Kristusovem zgledu molili in delovali za edinost njegove cerkve. Prosimo Gospoda. Za državne voditelje, da bi delovali za mir in pravičnost med narodi. Prosimo Gospoda. Za vse, ki jih tarejo bolezni in druge nadloge, da bi se v trpljenju še bolj naslanjali na Boga. Prosimo Gospoda. Za lačne in podhranjene, da bi jim bogatejši radi pomagali in z njimi delili svoj kruh. Prosimo Gospoda. Za nas same, da bomo nesebično pomagali vsem, ki potrebujejo našo pomoč. Prosimo Gospoda. Za naše rajne brate in sestre, naj se jih Bog usmili in jih sprejme v svoje kraljestvo. Prosimo Gospoda.
Za Štefan, Mimi Rozonje, special intention for this Mass, prosimo Gospoda.
Prosimo te, usliši nas.
Večni Oče, vir, luči in moči, pomagaj nam in nas vodi skozi življenje, da se bomo na koncu življenja si zbrali v kraljestvu svojega Sina, našega Gospoda. Amen. Volite, brati in sestre, da Bog samogočni očas, spremi mojo in vašo daritev, spremi Gospod daritev, Gospodu, malo in čas v imenu, blagi tudi na vse svoje sveti cerkvi. Nebeški Oče, spremi te darove, ki si nam jih naklonil v svoji dobroti. Njimi ti na zemlji izražamo svojo vdanost, da nam pomagajo doseči večno odrečenje po Kristusu, našem Gospodu. Amen. Gospod z vami. Krfiško srca. Zahvaljujemo se Gospodu, našemu Bogu. Res se spodobi, je pravično, primerno in zveličevno, da se ti vedno in povsod zahvaljujemo, Gospod, Sveti Oče, samogočni večni Bog, po našem Gospodu, Jezusu Kristusu. Pri svojem prvem prihodu se je ponižal in postal človek, da se je izpolnil večni načrt odrešenja in nam odprl pot v večno življenje, zveličenja. Ko bo spet prišel v veličastvu svoje slave, bomo v vseh plodnosti prijeli, kar nam je obljubljeno, kar veri zaupno pričakujemo. Zato za angeli in arangeli, vsemi nebeškimi zbori, pojmo valnico tvojemu veličastvu, nenehno sklikamo. Resnično si svet, Gospod, naš Bog, veruj se svetosti. Zato posveti, prosimo, po svojem duhu te darove, da nam postanejo telo in kri našega Gospoda, Jezusa Kristusa, ko je šel prostovoljno pretrpljenje, je vzel kruh, se zahvalil, ga razlomil, pa svojim učencem in rekel: Vzemite in jejte od tega vsi. To je moje telo, ki se daje za vas. Prav tako je po večeri vzel kelih, se spet zahvalil, a dal svojim učencem in rekel: Vzemite in pijte iz njega vsi. To je kelih moje krvi, nove in večne zaveze, ki se za vas za vse preliva v počinjanju grehov. To delajte v moj spomin. Skrivnost vere. Sveti Oče, spomenjamo se Kristusove smrti in usajenje, darujemo ti kruh življenja in kelih zveličanja. Zahvaljujemo se ti, da smemo biti tu pred teboj in ti služiti. Ponižno prosimo, naj nas Sveti Duh poprijemo Kristusovega telesa in njegove krvi, združi, da bomo usijeno. Spomni se, Gospod, svoje crkve, razširjenja po vsem svetu, spopolni jo v blezni skupaj z našim papežem Francom, našim škofom, Malesečom, in vsemi, ki služijo v oltarju. Spomni se tudi naših bratov in sester, ki so se spali v upanju na ustajenje, in vseh ljudi, ki so umrli v tvoji milosti, in jim daj, da bojo gledali tvoje obličje. Prosimo te, usmili se nas vseh, da bomo v večnem življenju skupaj z Božjo Materijo Devico Marijo, njenega moža, svetega Jožefa, z apostoli in vsemi svetimi, ki so živeli v tvoji ljubezni, in te bomo hvalili in slavili po tvojem Sinu, Jezusu Kristusu. Po Kristusu, s Kristusom in v Kristusu, tebi se mogočnemu Bogu Očetu, po česu Svetega Duha, so čas in slava, na vse veke vekov. Naš trešenik nam naroče, Božji nauk nas uči, da smemo tako moliti. Oče naš. Boj se tvoje volja, kako na nebesi, tako na zemlji. Daj nam danes naš vsakdanji kruh, napusti nam naše dolge, kako tudi mi odpuščamo svojim dolžnikom. Peri nas skušnjavo, temveč reši nas hudega. Reši nas vsega hudega, vsemogočni Oče. Podari nam mir v naših dneh. Usmeni pomagaj, da bomo varovali grehe in bomo varni pred vsakim nemirom. Ko polni blaženega upanja pričakujemo prihod našega odreženika, Jezusa Kristusa. Tvoje kraljestvo, tvoja oblast, slava vekom. Gospod Jezus Kristus, svojim apostolom si rekel, jer vam zapustim, svoj mir vam dam. Ne glede naše grehe, ampak na vero svoje crkve, utvrdi jo v miru in jo vodi k polni edinosti, te spolni tvoje volja, ki živiš in kraljuješ vekomaj. Gospod mir bude vedno z vami. Glejte, to je janje Božje, ki odjemlje grehe sveta, blagor povabljenim na Gospodovo gostijo. Gospod, nisem vreden, da prideš k meni, ampak reci le besedo, da zdravja bo moja duša. Molimo. Dobri Oče, naj nam koristijo svete skrivnosti. Mi jih vedno znova obhajamo. Z njimi nas še v tem minljivem življenju učiš tiste ljubezni, s katero te bomo ljubili vso večnost. Po Kristusu, našem Gospodu. Amen. Just real quick before the final blessing and song, Father Loy Nakorda will be gone for a while. His mother died last Sunday in the Philippines. Malatona is her name. She was 97 years old and had been sick for a while. So it'll take 5 days to get to his island. So he's going to take his vacation time and be back on January 15th. So Father Lloyd Nakorda will be away for a month and a half, over 6 weeks from the parish. So our prayers for him, safe travels, and for his family, as they mourn the death of his mother. His life is still threatened on his island. He was telling me the day before, he left yesterday, so he must have been telling me Friday night. His life is still threatened on the island. He has, his brother-in-law is a ex-military and has a gun. So his brother and his brother-in-law will be walking with him. There's times when military men with machine guns have been at his side the whole time. He has to feed them and house them. And he's a walking target. He doesn't feel safe with them, but he feels safe with his brother and brother-in-law. So prayers continue for him and for peace on his island in the Philippines. Gospod z vami. Blagoslovi vas, všemogočni Bog, Oče in Sin in Sveti Duh, pojdite v miru.